Kavich here.
Guzikowski here.
Seifert here.
Chandler here.
Tonight we have two items on the agenda.
Get the minutes.
Yeah, we'll get into it, Fred. I'm just going to make a couple public service announcements here. We're just kind of waiting on an applicant that's a little bit held up. But if you would take a look at the minutes from August 13th, and actually they were somewhat kind of extensive. We spent a little time on one particular subject, if I remember right.
Decker.
Actually, there were a couple of subjects we spent some time on. Anyhow, if there's any omissions or corrections. Motion.
Seifert moves to approve the minutes of August 13, 2019.
Chandler seconds.
Roll call.
And I.
Sullivan, aye.
I.
David Chai.
Guzikowski, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, I.
We'll move on to significant common council actions. We have two, so Carrie.
Council approved the following. An ordinance to amend the conditions and restrictions in ordinance number 2941 for a contractor's office, shop, yard with outdoor storage and truck parking as allowed uses as part of the existing conditional use permit for automobile and truck engine and body repair, outdoor storage of vehicles and outdoor display of vehicles for sale, and semi-truck trailer parking on the property at 9840 South 27th Street. If anybody was wondering why this went to council twice, it was because there was a typo in the previous conditions and restrictions. They also approved an ordinance adopting an amendment to the comprehensive plan for the properties at 8100 and 8146 South 27th Street and 8100 South Orchard Way. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Carrie. Is there any discussions or questions about council's actions on what we considered here on August 13th? Okay. Just for the sake, I did go by, just today I did go by the contractor yard, and I think we did make the right decision on it. It does fit the use. It's pretty well screened. So, yeah, if you ever get the chance, commissioners, as you approve this stuff and you're in the neighborhood, take a ride by at these properties that we deal with if you haven't beforehand. And you get a really good sense of feel of what your decisions did. So it really makes sense going forward if you get the chance. Okay. We can move on, I guess, to a sign appeal, 4A, and this is a public hearing, and it is to consider a proposed sign appeal for the property at 8800 South Howell Avenue. This is submitted by McDonald's, and it has to deal with their double-screen digital menu board. So, Carrie, if you'd read that into the record.
City of Oak Creek notice of public hearing before the Plan Commission. A public hearing for a sign appeal will be held Tuesday, August 27, 2019 at 6 p.m. at the Oak Creek City Hall, Common Council Chambers, 8040 South 6th Street, Oak Creek, Wisconsin, 53154. The appellant is McDonald's USA, LLC. Tax key number is 860-9018-000 at 8800 South Howell Avenue. The request is a variance from Section 170706, Sub J1, which states that any building or development shall be permitted one ground sign per street frontage, and a variance from Section 170706, Sub G, which states that electronic message board and changeable copy signs shall not exceed 50% of the total sign face area, and in no case shall an electronic message board or changeable copy be greater than 50 square feet in area. If granted, these variances would allow installation of 2 5 feet 11 5/8 inches by 4 feet 10-inch double screen. Screen dimensions are 10 square feet each. Digital menu boards in the drive-through portion of the property located at 8800 South Howell Avenue. The zoning of the property is B4 CU Highway Business District, conditional use. This hearing was rescheduled from August 13th, 2019. All interested persons wishing to be heard are invited to be present. Dated the 7th day of August, 2019. Plan Commission, City of Oak Creek, Wisconsin, Mayor Daniel J. Bukevich, Chairman. This is a public hearing. All those wishing to speak on the matter, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and address all questions or comments to the Plan Commission. This hearing is now open.
Thank you, Carrie. As Carrie said, this is a public hearing. We will make 3 calls, this being the first. This will be the second call. Third and final call. Anybody wishing to speak, please approach podium, name and address. Seeing nobody wishing to speak, we will close the public hearing in 4A. We will move into new business on 5A, and that's
Actually, can we do the second
You want
public
to do
hearing?
the second one right
Yeah.
away? Okay. Carrie, if you would, we have 2, and this is for the property at 9470 South 13th. And again, it's a McDonald's restaurant. Carrie, if you'd read it in.
City of Oak Creek, notice of public hearing before the Plan Commission. A public hearing for a sign appeal will be held Tuesday, August 27th, 2019, at 6 p.m. in the Oak Creek City Hall Common Council Chambers, 8040 South 6th Street, Oak Creek, Wisconsin, 53154. The appellant is McDonald's USA, LLC. The tax key number is 877-9002001. Property location is 9471 South 13th Street. The request is a variance from Section 170706, Sub J1, which states that any building or development shall be permitted 1 ground sign per street frontage, and a variance from Section 170706, Sub G, which states that electronic message board and changeable copy signs shall not exceed 50% of the total sign face area, and in no case shall an electronic message board or changeable copy be greater than 50 square feet in area. If granted, these variances would allow installation of 2 5-foot 11 5/8 inches by 4-foot 10-inch double screen dimensions of 10 square feet each, digital menu boards, and 2 5 feet 11 1/2 inch by 2 feet 5 1/8 inch single screen dimension 10 square feet, pre-browse digital menu boards in the drive-through portion of the property located at 9471 South 13th Street. The zoning of the property is B4 PUD CU, Highway Business District, Plan Unit Development Conditional Use Permit. This hearing was rescheduled from August 13th, 2019. All interested persons wishing to be heard are invited to be present. Dated the 7th day of August, 2019. Plan Commission, City of Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Mayor Daniel J. Bukevich, Chairman. This is a public hearing. All those wishing to make comment on the proposal are invited to come to the podium, state your name and address, and address all comments to the Plan Commission. This hearing is now open.
Thank you, Carrie. As Carrie said, it is a public hearing. We will make 3 calls. This being the first call on item 4B. Second call for item 4B. We're on the second sign already on 13th Street. And just to bring you up to speed, we're in a public hearing, and we had nobody speak on the first. And this will be the third and final call on item 4B concerning the sign appeal. We'll now close the public hearing and move on to new business, starting with 5A, and that is consideration of the sign appeal for property at 8800 South Howell Avenue submitted by McDonald's. Carrie.
So as was stated in the hearing notice, there are 2 variances that are being requested for this property, which is on Howell Avenue. What they are essentially wanting to do is replace the existing static menu boards in the drive-through with digital menu boards. Now, our code does not specifically address menu boards, so we have to treat them as signs. That is something that we're going to be looking at with the zoning code update so that we are treating these as appropriately. Technology is just moving faster than we can update our code, so this is something that we've seen before. Starbucks right next door in 2015 basically requested the same thing. Theirs was a little bit different in this location because they had the pre-browse boards that we'll be talking about with the 13th Street location. But essentially what they're asking for is a variance to allow these digital menu boards, and they technically do exceed the code requirements. So if you turn to page 2 of your staff report, In deliberation of a variance, the Plan Commission may consider location, height, overall size, appearance, number, the location of other signs in the vicinity of the proposed sign, and any other factor the Plan Commission deems appropriate, excluding content of the sign. Staff does not make recommendations regarding sign appeals. However, decisions to approve a sign variance must be made utilizing the criteria that are listed 1 through 4 below. There is a motion that is provided for consideration if the Plan Commission wishes to move this forward. If there are any questions, I or the applicant are available to answer them.
Thank you, Carrie. We'll open it up for questions. Looks like Chauncey is ready to go.
I'm ready. I have a question for the applicant.
Name and address.
Hi, yep. Michelle Freeman. I'm with Kaiser Industries, 9015 South Kedzie, Evergreen Park, Illinois.
For the first item on Howell, can you provide a little more information on the dual signs, the double screens, and why there's a need for double screens and 2 signs?
I'll give you a little bit of background. So what McDonald's has been doing corporate is they have this experience of the future. And I don't know if you've seen any of the McDonald's, maybe around here and other areas where if you go inside, you'll see that they now switch to, that's so loud, the digital menu boards that are inside, and they even have those self kiosks. If it was a full, complete remodel, then most of the stores have all the signage you see inside is continued into the drive-through. So the drive-throughs have the digital menu boards as well. So the menu boards itself are the 2 panels that you were referring to. Right now, if you were to look at existing signage of the manual changeable copy, most of them have 4 panels, so about 47 square feet. The new digital menu boards have the 2 panels, which are about, it's like 19.97 square feet, so 20 square feet. And then the single unit is what they're calling a pre-browse, also known as a pre-sell, also known as lots of they have different names, but a pre-browse. And so that's just a single, so that's about 10 square feet. So I'd have to look at the 2 specific ones, but in most cases, if it's a dual lane drive-through, they currently have 2 manual changeable copies. That's about 84 square feet. And if they were to have 2 new digital signs and the pre-browse, they would actually be going down to about 60 square feet because you'd have 40-40 and about 10-10. So part of this particular part of the project is called ODMB, so it's the Outdoor Digital Menu Board. And really what McDonald's has shared with us as the overall project scope is that, Carrie, sorry, I couldn't remember stated, it is all the changes in, what did we say? Thank you. It's like rushed straight in here from the car. In technology, so they moved to the digital. And so a couple of things that it allows one for owner operators to have consistency in all of their pricing automatically from indoor to outdoor. So they don't have to go outside, like the staff right now have to go outside and actually change the copy manually. So that's also a safety security feature for employees not having to go out and change them manually. There will also be less paper waste. This is the part I like, is like the sustainability of it. That if you've seen any of them, at the top of some of the menu boards, they have like all that extra stuff. They call it POP, point of purchase marketing material. And also like those little staked flagged things that are, get your Shamrock Shake, get your this. So those will all be eliminated with the digital. The signage, what I want to say, the lighting, it has auto sensors, so it automatically adjusts to reflect with natural ambient lighting. So they range from 500 nits to 2,500 nits. If you don't know what a nit is, I can kind of explain. I've had to learn. I could probably write a thesis on it at this point, but it's a little bit different. It's just the light output, different than what now is like with the fluorescent lighting, which is measured in lumens, and the LED screens are measured in nits, so I can explain that. But it does automatically, so there you don't get a glare, you don't get anything really distracting around the area. It also helps to speed to the point of the pre-browse is the goal is to help within, like you say, the drive-through. If you're sitting, that's the second vehicle. So if you're sitting and waiting to place your order, you can see that's kind of where they'll put what the menu is, if there's a special at that time. And that way, when you get to the next point to order, that should go smoother. So that's also one of the intents of having that pre-browse and not having the paper. They have that instead. Did I answer your question? I'm trying to give you like the overall.
Yes.
She's like, and then some.
Yes. In addition, so just for clarity, you said that the signs will be similar to the ones that are in some stores. I know inside the stores you can actually pay and then just wait for your order. So is that the same concept for these signs?
No, that is with, inside the store, there's a kiosk, which does have that board and has a kiosk, but that's not the intent for the drive-through. They don't have a self-ordering option. You have to go inside to do that, or you can use your app to mobile order and go inside, but that's not, the drive-through is just gonna be exactly the same. The, right now, and I don't think these are integrated COD, which is the customer order display area. So right now, there's usually a speaker post and you talk into it, place your order, and it pops up the display. What will happen is that display will be covered. The speaker will remain, so you'll still speak into that, but when you're looking at the order menu board, it'll like pop up at the bottom and it'll show what your order is, what you ordered, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as they say, okay, your order's at 476, please pull forward, then that just disappears. So that won't be removed or be changing in any way.
Do we have any pictures of this? That would help. Oh,
Oh, are you having difficulties?
I'm having an issue. Our Air Media is actually dropping the connection, so I'm trying to actually get this to project to every one of you. But if you can go into your packets, you should have what the mock-ups are for the signs themselves. There we go.
If you have, I have,
we don't have that.
sorry, I make them sometimes.
Can we see that?
Yeah, I can put two and you can just kind of pass them down and you can see.
I'll take them. Pass them on.
So once again, the first sign that is seen by the second car in the driveway only provides what information?
That is, they call it a pre-browse, so it will display like specials or what's kind of available at the time. So for an example, for McDonald's, or if it was during breakfast time, then it's probably going to show like 2 for $3. I don't know what McDonald's actually sells their prices for, like, 2 Egg McMuffins or 2 for $3 or whatever that is. And some people will ask, so I try to give all the information. The menu boards themselves are only set to change screen, just like the manual changeable copies are now. Breakfast to lunch, they'll push the button and it'll change, or program it for the timing they can do on the back end. If their breakfast is set to go from 6 to 10:30, then they can pre-program it and then it'll just flip, just like if you were to walk out and push it. The same from breakfast to lunch, lunch to dinner. The only time it would be different is if locally, regionally, or nationally they had like a late night dinner menu or something different. But again, that would be consistent with what's happening now with manual changeable copy. The pre-browse are set to change every 7 seconds. It can be adjusted if the ordinance, or if you choose to have it. We've had some municipalities have it go every 10. We've had some say, as long as it doesn't change any more than like 6 seconds based on like the front manual changeable copy, that works as well. It does not have video. It doesn't have animation. There's no intent to have that. They don't offer any commercials. Like somebody asked me this once at a meeting, like Coca-Cola. If Coca-Cola wanted to have their own advertising, that is not the intent at all. It really is just replacing what is there now. The owner-operators of the franchise here in your municipality, it's not an option for them. This is a corporate directive by McDonald's, so I think that's one of the variants, or depending on what you call it variance things, is it would it be a hardship for them? It would, really, because it's a directive from corporate. The manual changeable copy boards are no longer being made. I actually work for the company that like started making them years ago, long before I was with them, make them, and they don't make those, so the parts can't be replaced. They're gonna have a hard time, I think, doing that. Yes, there are some municipalities right now that flat out don't. Something will have to be done. Maybe they'll hold all those ancient boards somewhere, I don't know. But it really is a directive. So in order for the store to be consistent and keep their drive-through, like 70% of these drive-throughs, I understand, or the money is made through their drive-throughs. So to be consistent with the regional, the national, sales, it's imperative that they're kind of the same as other stores in the area.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good.
Yeah, is this going to be the standard for all McDonald's throughout the whole U.S.?
Yes, the entire nation. We are one of 5 integrators, the company I work with, doing them across the nation. It's just some are done in a full remodel. Some stores were remodeled before, and now they're just having like what I'm doing, which is just the outdoor digital menu board, that portion.
Are there any McDonald's locally that have these new memory boards?
They do. I think the last,
Wauwatosa has them.
Yes.
Because there's a list in the back end of the package she gave us, listing the stores that have
I gave you both my
them.
copies.
Sheboygan Falls, Wauwatosa.
They're
I
everywhere.
was just curious to see
Yes.
if we had started the program.
And I mean, I can tell you nothing from there because I'm not on the project side as far as installation, looking at them. But this is kind of what I do right now, are these meetings for all the ones we're doing. So even over the border, there's a Bannockburn, Deerfield, right up north of the city. I'm looking at you like you're my coworker, Mary. Like she's my one that I always go to. But yeah, I mean, that need variances, but they're all over. We've done probably my integrator, the company I work with, has been done about 1,800. But again, there's 5 integrators, so they're at like 8,000 or 9,000, I think, since last year. And the whole entire project, they're hoping, is going to be done by 2019 with just the drive-through, the ODMB portion.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chris, anything?
I know people in the trade, same as you. This particular person has done over 500 stores like this, and that's just one of the contractors. So it's happening nationwide. This is a corporate directive, so I would just only ask for help in when it comes time to make the motion.
Don?
I have a question. So because I have been to one of the McDonald's that had this already in Waukesha, and it wasn't working. So yes, and it was just installed. So what is your maintenance plan, or what is because it's newer, so
Is
there's
it one of ours? I'm
troubleshooting.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Go ahead.
Is it one of the ones on the last page? I'd have to look at the address and see. The only reason why I say is for us as an integrator. And I'd have to
But in general, my question.
what they're. Okay, so the only reason why I'm trying to separate the two is if it's early in the installation process, there's a whole provisioning process that is done. So the boards are in. So you said it's been in for a while?
I don't know. I just
Okay.
went to the one last week, the one in Waukesha, and when I was placing the order, the menu wasn't displaying correctly. The screen was blank. They said they're having like some troubleshooting issue with it. They just installed it, so I don't see the address on this menu.
Okay.
So, but in general, what is your maintenance plan? Because I'm sure they're gonna have quite a bit of them that has this issue, so.
Correct. And we have as an integrator, that's why I was asking, but like initially what it will happen is during the provisioning that goes through, because the boards are built off-site, just to understand, so they'll bring them, they'll drop them in, they'll put them, and then they provision them, and that's where it goes through the whole process and is loaded. What it's supposed to do is if there is any kind of problem like that, then it'll either on the back end, an error message is sent to, I think it's StrataCache is the software program, and then the owner operator will do that, and then they immediately are supposed to have a ticket and have someone out there. I don't know what that board was doing, but it's supposed to shut off.
It was completely blank. and actually created a chaos. Everybody was backing up and the drive-through was just behind. So that's what I'm concerned if that's going to happen here, especially on 13th Street because it's very close to the interstate. So we want to make sure that you have a backup plan. Either they display those paper again in case of something happens.
Right.
But something can happen anytime. I
Right.
just want to make sure you have a plan B, how to
Yeah, and
discuss that.
it's my understanding, and I can't speak specifically, I mean, if it were me, because I'm just like a project manager, and then I would have like a whole plan if I was a manager. But what I understand is with the board, because they're like linked, they have separate runs or that they're linked together so that they can redirect. Just like now, if all of a sudden we've had car accident or a car knock over a manual changeable copy. So the stores are supposed to have a plan in place that if there is anything wrong with the board or something happens, that they can direct traffic to the one lane. I've also seen them, even when we're doing installation, they have people come out. I don't know if you've ever been to Portillo's, like they have the people that come out with the
Yes.
little, so that they have those. And because they're digital, they can technically do like a kiosk. They should be able to, and even take a screen like that and go out and do that to do it through.
Keep in mind, that's their own plan. It'd be no different if they ran out of power.
Right.
It's up to the management to come up with their own maintenance plan. Most cases, McDonald's has their own corporate maintenance teams that come out.
Yes.
They don't typically call in a contractor. They have their own set of people. They typically have their own set of maintenance people that come out and do it. So it's up to the individual operator, have his plan, and I'm sure there's corporate standards to deal with. So, cool. Anything else? Okay. I like it. It takes up less space, gets you to the modern age, less energy, occupies. It doesn't take more power. I think it's the way to go. Pretty soon we'll be sitting here, but I would suspect one day deciding on hologram signs when the person appears at your car and takes the order. So I think Carrie said it best. Technology is very much changing. This is kind of different. It's a corporate directive, so the business is directly caught in what they are mandated to do per their franchisee agreement. And again, in this particular case, I actually think it's an improvement. So don't have an issue. So if there's no issue, motion on 5A.
Carrie, if I could just ask for your help, on the back of your staff report, the motion for consideration, is that what I'm going with here?
Yes, and you would stop after Avenue. You do not have to read the note.
Guzekowski makes a motion that the Plan Commission approves a sign variance allowing the installation of two 5-foot 11 and 5/8 inches by 4-foot 10 inches double screen dimensions 10 square feet, digital menu boards in the drive-through areas at McDonald's restaurant located at 8800 South Howell Avenue.
Anna seconds.
Roll call.
Hannah, aye.
Sullivan, aye. Kavich, aye.
Guzekowski, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, aye.
And that leads us into 5B, which is discussion about the same menu boards being used at 9471 South 13th. Carrie?
The only difference between this one and the Howell Avenue location is that this location will have the pre-browse menu boards.
Yes.
So they will be the same size for the double menu boards that you see here, and then they will have these single pane menu boards, and the locations in the driveway or the drive-through. So if, to orient you, to the west or to the left of the screen, that would be where the on-ramp is, and to the right would be where 13th Street is, and Ryan Road to the south. So the drive-through kind of goes along the backside of the building. The pre-browse menu boards, and maybe if I bring up the other site plan, you can see them a little bit better. The pre-browse menu boards are in the islands along with the menus themselves. There is a bit of a typo in the motion for consideration. The address is actually 97 or 9471 South 13th Street. So if you make a note of that on page 2 of 3 for the motion, just change that to 9471 South 13th Street. But otherwise, this is the exact same proposal, just with the menu boards and the pre-browse boards. Same rationale, corporate directive, technology changing, and the same kind of addressing of maintenance and any kind of issues on this site as well.
And Carrie, if I make the motion and I stop after street, is that sufficient on this one?
Right, don't say the note.
Thank you.
Anything else from anybody? I think we covered it in the first one.
I always say ditto.
Anyways, motion on 5B, please.
Guzekowski makes a motion that the plan commission approves the sign variance allowing the installation of two 5 foot 11 and 5/8 inches by 4 foot 10 inches double screen dimensions 10 square feet digital menu boards, and two 5 by 11 and a half by 2 and 5 1/8 single screen dimension 10 square feet. Pre-browse digital board menus in the drive-through area at the McDonald's restaurant located at 9471 South 13th Street.
Seifert seconds.
Roll call.
Hannah, I.
Sullivan, aye.
David Chai.
Guzekowski, aye.
Seifert, I'm sorry.
Chandler, aye.
I thought it was all over.
All right. I want to thank the applicant for coming up. I take it you came up from Illinois
Yes.
and you fought through the traffic, so I wish you safe travels back.
Thank you.
And I'd like to remind the public, please take your time going through there. We know it's an inconvenience. We know it's tight. The state decided to do it this way, and all I ask is that you take your time, respect other drivers, stay in your lane. We've had a rash of accidents. Actually, the accidents on that stretch of highway between here and the state line have doubled. And we've had some ferocious accidents and unfortunately some loss of life in there. So please slow it down, give the construction workers a break, and more importantly, arrive safely to where you and others got to be. So safe travels back.
Thank you.
Just a couple other things real quickly. A couple new things here at City Hall that are on display. One temporary for a while, it's out in the hall. It's actually the cafe painting. And I'm going to let Dawn kind of talk a little bit about that. It was done at the cafe event out there. Very unique, very cool community project. And also our Serenity Garden has a new inhabitant of it. If you take a close look there, little girl's been at it reading a book there. And it really fits the garden very well. And I'd like to thank everybody that stepped up, in particular former police chief Tom Bauer, who found that and placed her there just recently. Reminder, tomorrow is our food truck event out in Square. I believe it's the last one for the year. So get on out there. It's going to be a beautiful night for that. And then the farmer's market continues. So Dawn, I'll let you plug the farmer's market coming up Saturday.
Yes, Saturday Farmers Market 9 to 1, and it's the Makers Market. So we have 15 crafters coming and artisans this week.
Man,
Also,
fun.
the Spudmobile
Could I ask a quick question?
yeah,
is coming from up north.
go ahead, Chris.
The Makers Market, is that also on Facebook? Is there something on there? Thank you.
So very quickly, paintings are out in the hallway. Take a moment to look at them. They were actually put out at our cafe event, which featured culture, art, food, and entertainment. Anybody that came was welcome to paint a portion of it. And the portraits you see out there is a collection of different faces and people that took part in it. And it was really a special day here. So please take the time to look at it, read the caption of what it was about. It was pretty unique for the city. And then just one more thing. Congratulations, Chauncey. You are published again. You have your second book done, I heard. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So when's the library going to get some copies?
I'll check into that.
All right. No pressure.
Check with your publisher.
No pressure.
They do have the first copy, so
got
I'll check
something?
into the second one.
Carrie?
So just two quick announcements. We will have our next public information meeting on the comprehensive plan update. That is scheduled for October 1st. So stay tuned for that. That will be published on the website. It will be on Facebook and other social media outlets, and then we will be going right into our zoning code update. So we will have some public meetings, information coming out about that, the first of which will be held October 10th. So please mark your calendars and stay tuned for that. Again, posting on the website and on social media and around town.
Great. Want to thank the staff. Tim, as always, good job muscling through our little bit of hiccup there with the audio and the visual. And Carrie, thanks for the work. And again, redoing these ordinances, comprehensive plan, very extensive work on the staff. Nobody really knows just how much goes into that. And again, the ordinances are tricky because it's impossible to cover everything, but you want to cover as much as you can with some flexibility. So you guys are doing a good job.
And on that note, Mayor, so like the topic of discussion tonight, Carrie, like the menu boards, would things like that be part of that?
Yes, we are actually, as staff, making notes as we go through, and we've had several things over the years that have come up that we want to address in the zoning code update. If you have anything to add to that, if there are any things that you think our code could do better, maybe not be addressing as much as you think it should be, new things, new technologies, and new thoughts, anything that you think we could incorporate into the zoning code, please do participate in those meetings. Let me know if there's anything that you want us to specifically address. It's much appreciated.
Right. Just one last thing. What's a Spudmobile?
The state of Wisconsin has a large mobile that visits farmers markets talking about potatoes.
Shaped like a potato, like
It is
the
not.
Oscar Mayer wiener thing?
It's decorated like
Okay. Looking forward to that. Very cool. Anyways, with that, adjournment.
Crillo moves to adjourn at 6:39.
Seifert seconds.
Roll call.
And I.
Sullivan, aye.
Crillo, aye.
Kavich, aye.
Zukowski, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, aye.
Great. Thank you very much.